this is very good work in progress, and a full update will be given then to the IOC session on the 17th of July by the organizing committee and by the coordination commission. Secondly, Senegal and the IOC have mutually agreed to postpone the Youth Olympic Games Dakar 2022 to the year 2026. This agreement was approved today by the IOC Executive Board and will be submitted to the IOC session on a Friday for ratification. The proposal for a postponement was made by the President of Senegal, Macky Sall, in a telephone conversation with me 2 days ago. And I welcomed this move by President Macky Sall. And after an in-depth discussion on the subject, we decided then to establish as the new date 2026. This postponement of Dakar 2022 allows the IOC, the NOCs and the IFs to better plan their activities which have been strongly affected by the postponement of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, the subsequent postponements of other major international sports events, and by the operational and logistical consequences of these postponements, as well as the financial consequences of the corona crisis. You have to imagine that if these Youth Olympic Games would have been held in 2022, that this would have meant for the IOC, the IFs, the NOCs, that we would have had to master 5 games in just 3 years. And this really was a too heavy workload there for everybody. At the same time, it allows Senegal to carry on the excellent preparations for the Youth Olympic Games in a smooth way, and there we could state that great progress has been made so far. This is why their President Macky Sall and myself, that we renewed our confidence and appreciation in Dakar 2022 President Mamadou Diagna Ndiaye, the IOC member in Senegal. Both the IOC and Senegal remain fully committed to the great success of these Youth Olympic Games, the first Olympic event ever to be organized on the African continent. We also understand that for a number of athletes, this decision will be disappointing. And we can only appeal to their understanding because it reflects the challenges we are facing there in the Olympic movement and beyond, but in the Olympic movement in particular with regard to the postponement of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. We will offer the international federations and the NOC continental associations the full content of the IOC educational programs of the Youth Olympic Games to be used in junior world championships or in the continental youth games. So some, at least, of this Olympic experience can be maintained for these athletes. Overall, this agreement once more proves and demonstrates the great cooperation we enjoy and the mutual trust between Senegal and the IOC, and therefore I would like to express my sincere thanks to President Macky Sall, who is a great friend and supporter of the Olympic movement, for this exceptional relationship of trust and quality. And because of this trust and quality of the relationship, I'm sure that in 2026 we will have fantastic Youth Olympic Games, Dakar 2026, and these Youth Olympic Games will make Senegal proud, will make the entire African continent proud, and all the young athletes of the world will enjoy it. We also have received a financial update on the support for the Olympic movement. So since the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, the IOC has already provided $100 million of financial support to NOCs and IFs. There are $63 million have been allocated to IFs and 37 million to NOCs. The EB has, in addition to this, also confirmed that despite the postponement of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, that we will continue supporting the NOCs with the top program allocation, which will amount to another $150 million, which will be payable by the end of the year. This represents a great effort for the IOC, and therefore, in order to be able to deliver all this support in the 800 million envelope, the IOC had to ask the Olympic Foundation for its assistance and help. And we are happy that the Foundation board there decided to allocate an amount of up to $300 million to assist the IOC in our efforts to support the actions of the Olympic movement. I think these are the major issues of today's meeting, and of course I'm happy to take any of your questions you may want to raise.
Thank you very much, President. Then for all the colleagues on the line, please raise your hand. It's on your screen on the top right corner, and then we will get you into the meeting. And the first question goes to Jamie Gardner from the Press Association. Jamie, the floor is yours. You need to respond to the request which you just received from us, and then your line will be opened. Okay, in this case, we go to Shane Shu. Now he has done it. Yes, he is on. Jamie, you're on.
Oh, hi there, Thomas. This is Jamie from the Press Association. I hope you're well. This isn't a question so much about the Olympic Games, but it is a question about Olympic sport in general. In Great Britain, in the last few weeks, there have been reports of bullying and other forms. Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Not really well. It's
sorry.
It's on and off. Yeah, we hear you, but sometimes it's on and off. Just continue, and
okay.
Then we try.
Okay. In the last few weeks, there have been reports of bullying and other forms of abuse related to gymnastics. What more can the IOC do to make sure that the principle of faster, higher, stronger does not become an excuse to go too far? How confident are you that this is an isolated case, or is it a wider problem in Olympic sport, the issue of bullying?
We take all these cases very, very seriously from the very beginning. You may remember that already a couple of years ago we have issued their toolkit concerning their abuse and harassment of athletes, which is available for the entire Olympic movement, which has been very well appreciated and is applied in many parts of the world. Nevertheless, we have seen, as you rightly said, some recent cases in a number of countries, which is even more concerning. There we have put at the disposal of the concerned entities, the latest in Korea, the services of our experts in-house. There have been a number of seminars, consultations in different countries. There we have given advice and we have also asked for clarification wherever clarification was needed, because these cases are clear against everything we are standing for. And therefore we will not give up there to do whatever we can with regard to prevention, but then also to follow up on cases if they would be or should come under our jurisdiction.
Thank you, Jamie, for your question. Next one is Matt Futterman. Matt, you're on.
Hi there. I had a question. Regarding. I had a question regarding the money you allocated. So, is that part of the $800 million that you had promised, or is this additional money that is being approved? And then I had just a follow-up question.
Yes, it's a part of the envelope of the 800 million.
Ah, okay, good. And now, what is the IOC taking any action? Obviously, things are pretty bad in the United States in terms of the job that the country has done in controlling the virus. But is the IOC taking any action to try and get American athletes approved for travel, to try and get sort of some exceptions? Obviously, if the Olympics were tomorrow, there's lots of borders that are closed. But with upcoming potential competitions in the next few months, is there a role that the IOC is playing, or is that just up to the federations?
Well, we have received their request from the president of USOPC, and I had, in fact, a telephone conversation with her already last week, and I assured their Suzanne Lyons and USOPC that the IOC is ready to assist in such cases of travel restrictions, and we will do so there on a case-by-case basis, because we have to see which countries are concerned, where the athletes may need to travel with regard to qualification competitions or other competitions, and what restrictions are still in place. So there we are in very close contact, and we will, of course, support there the American athletes in every way we can.
Thank you, Matt, for your questions. Next one
Thank you.
Is Alfredo Bush from Claro. Alfredo, the floor is yours.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your time. I would like to ask you, what is the report that you have about the venues for Tokyo 2020? Are they already secure for the games, all of them? And also, if you have any advance about the Olympic Village?
The answer to both questions is no. There we will get the full report on Friday, and I just have to ask you to be as patient as the members of the IOC Executive Board.
And if you allow me a follow-up question about Senegal, how do you think this is going to impact all the boys that are going to, or that they thought could be in Dakar in 2022?
It will not only be boys; it will also be girls who will be affected,
Yeah,
because as you know, we have gender equity there in the Olympic movement, and there, of course, I understand that many of them will be disappointed. This is why we try to mitigate their this disappointment by offering these services of the educational program and other programs around the Youth Olympic Games to the IFs, so that they can share this experience with their junior athletes, and that we will also look there for a good cooperation with the continental associations of NOCs, so that these young athletes can make their Olympic experience at least on the continental level. I think this is at this moment I cannot give you details yet because the decision was taken today, but we will there do our best so that these young athletes will at least get a part of their Olympic experience.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Thank you,
The next question goes to Shane Shu from CCTV. Shane, welcome to today's press conference.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. There's some problem with my camera, but I think my voice is okay. So let's go. My question is about the Tokyo 2020, and it's still a year to Tokyo 2020, and it's difficult to predict the pandemic around the world. And what kind of messages that IOC would like to give towards the people who are concerned about the Olympic Games? And if the epidemic becomes normal in the future, how will this impact the Olympics? Thank you.
First of all, the IOC Executive Board and the entire IOC is following the principle we have established already before the postponement of the Tokyo Olympic Games, that the first priority is about the safety of all participants of the Olympic Games. For this reason, we are working now on multiple scenarios of the organization of the Games with regard to the health situation, of which we do not know how it will be in 1 year from now. And all these questions are being dealt with in a joint task force with Tokyo 2020 and in all partners task force in which the World Health Organization is playing a very prominent role. So we continue to be guided by the advice of the World Health Organization. And based on this advice and based on the ever-developing situation, we are preparing multiple scenarios with regard to addressing the health situation then next July and August.
Thank you very much. Next question goes to Wakako Yuki from Yomiuri Shimbun. Wakako, welcome to today's call.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, but we cannot see you.
That's okay. It might come on. President, thank you so much. It seems that quite a lot of number of Japanese people are still not confident enough or skeptic about whether the situation next year be able to allow Tokyo 2020 go ahead. And your decision, EB's decision today regarding the Senegal Youth Olympic Games, it seems quite interesting in a sense that you took prevention measure and postpone it by one cycle. You have been in the past told the world that the Tokyo 2020 will be conducted in the summer of 21 and not beyond. Could you confirm that again, or would there be any kind of possibility that as Youth Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 might be reconsidered into the future? Thank you.
We are working all together with our Japanese partners and friends to celebrate the games next year from 23rd of July until 8th of August 2021. The situation of the Youth Olympic Games in Dakar can be in no ways compared to the situation at Tokyo. As I tried to outline, the major concern for Dakar was this proliferation of 5 Olympic events in 3 years, and that there it made it almost impossible for the international federations to prepare their 5 games in 3 years. Imagine the national Olympic committees facing the same situation, and add to this the financial constraints the IFs and NOCs are facing already now. So there you can see that these are 2 totally different issues. And cannot be compared in any way. So we are and we remain fully committed to celebrate Tokyo 2020 next year in July and August. Here you are even on screen. So
thank you, Wakako. The next question goes to Brian Pinelli from Around the Rings. Brian, you have to accept the invitation, and then we can hear you. Okay, Brian, we'll come back to you. In this case, we just go to Graham Dunbar from AP.
Hello, I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can even see you.
I can hear you, yes?
Yes, and we can even see you.
Okay, that's a shame for you, I think.
Come on, what do you want to hear now? You start fishing for compliments there, or?
I think you have a gallery of my children's art here rather than a fancy bookcase. There we are. I've got a question about the international movement towards reevaluating people's historical places, people who've maybe said things or had views that are no longer as tolerable. Seeing what happened with the museum in San Francisco with Avery Brundage. Do you have any thoughts about that museum's decision? And would you consider asking the session on Friday to begin a review of historical figures and people who've received Olympic awards, and whether there's a role the IOC can play in adapting to this new reality?
Every organization has to take their own decision. We have taken note of this decision of the museum, on the one hand, to remove a bust of their founder, on the other hand, to keep the collections of being donated by the founder and keeping displaying them. This is in their responsibility, and every organization will take their own decision, and the role of Mr. Brundage has been, the focus of many studies, and his history is pretty clear, has been evaluated, so we see no reason there to rewrite history at this moment.
Thank you very much, Graham. Then we go to Brian Pinelli. Second try, Brian. Brian?
Yes, there we go.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah. Mr. Bach, this past weekend, the NHL and the NHL Players Association approved a new collective bargaining agreement, paving the way for the NHL players to potentially return to Beijing 22 and Milan 26. Just want to know how encouraging to you and how willing might you be to meet potential requests, such as covering insurance, transportation, and granting access to footage to bring the NHL's top players back to the Olympic Games.
Oh, we appreciate this move because we want to have the best players at the Olympic Games, and therefore we have always kept the door open to the NHL players, and appreciate and welcome that so many of them have expressed their wish to participate in the Olympic Games, and we are happy for them and happy with them that in the new agreement they could achieve that this door has been opened for them. So it's a great step forward, and that to making this happen now in Beijing and then also in Milan Cortina.
Thank you, Brian.
Might you be willing?
Sorry?
Can I follow up quickly?
Yeah.
How willing to meet potential NHL requests, such as insurance, transportation, video rights?
I guess you know the answer to this question, Brian, that I will not there comment on any requests which may come. We haven't received any so far, so and I hope none will come, but this may be a little bit naive.
Thank you, Brian. Next one is Robert Frozy, Radio-Canada, s'il vous plaît.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Nous avons vu aujourd'hui... Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Oui, mais on vous entend, mais on va seulement démis de votre tête. Alors, on voit votre bouche, mais voilà.
D'accord. Bon, alors, écoute, la question est simple. Vous avez sans doute vu aujourd'hui que le niveau d'alerte maximal a été annoncé à Tokyo. Et cette semaine, les scientifiques japonais s'inquiétaient en fait pour la tenue des Jeux pour leur population. Est-ce que vous partagez cette inquiétude de Madame Koike aujourd'hui et puis des scientifiques japonais?
Non, la situation d'aujourd'hui, c'est avec Madame Koike dans de bonnes mains. Et elle a géré dans une manière extraordinaire les défis du virus à Tokyo. C'est pourquoi elle était réélue avec brillance à cause de cette gérance et à cause de son engagement pour le jeu de Tokyo. C'est pourquoi nous avons pleine confiance à elle et sa gérance des mesures contre le virus.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Robert. Next one is Masashi Inoue from Kyodo News.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Yes. Thank you very much for taking my question. My question is about Tokyo Olympic Games. During this press conference, you mentioned that the IOC is considering multiple scenarios for the games to be organized. Does this include holding the games behind closed doors? Thank you.
It includes all different counter measures or preventing measures, quarantine, you name it. But Olympic Games behind closed doors is clearly something we do not want. So we are working for a solution of the Olympic Games, which on the one hand is safeguarding the health of all the participants, and on the other hand is also reflecting the Olympic spirit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Masashi. Then we have a last question, I guess, right now in the line from Liam Morgan from Inside the Games. Liam.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you now.
Excellent. Hello, Mr. President. Thank you for taking the time, as always. A couple of quick questions. Firstly, have you had any discussions with the countries that had expressed an interest in hosting the 2026 Youth Olympics, such as Thailand and Colombia, about this decision? And would you say they're now well placed for 2030? And secondly, during the last EB meeting, you announced a possible review of or a dialogue with the Athletes Commission on Rule 50. I was just wondering what stage those discussions had reached. I know it's only been a month or so, but what stage those discussions were at. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liam. With regard to the first question, and unfortunately, we did not have the time there to discuss with these interested national Olympic committees and or cities who have shown great interest in 2026 Youth Olympic Games, which we greatly appreciate. Of course, they will be now for 2030 in a privileged position, having had the opportunity already to enter into a dialogue with us. And we will take contact now with them as soon as possible. But I'm sure they will understand this situation. With regard to the discussion among athletes initiated by the IOC Athletes Commission, this is ongoing. The Athletes Commission is consulting with many athletes, also with national athletes commissions, but also with a wider network of athletes representatives. So this is still ongoing.
Thank you very much, Liam. And there is a question coming from Holger Kühner. Holger, you need to accept it. Holger, now the floor is yours. Holger? We can't hear you. Okay. Last try, Holger. Okay, that's it then for today. I'm sorry that it doesn't work now, Holger. Last try. Okay. Thank you very much. That closes the list of questions for you today, President. We'll be back on Friday. Remember, the IOC session is starting at 12 o'clock Lausanne time here on Friday. It will be live broadcasted on the IOC Media YouTube channel. You can follow it. And afterwards, we'll have the president again for a press briefing with all of you. So we look forward to speaking to you. Today, we had around 120 people on the phone. We thank you all out there in the world, and we'll speak soon again. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye. See you on Friday. Bye-bye.